Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining. Sunil here. Can you hear me? Please confirm in the chat box. Thank you, Ramana. Thank you, Vikram. Thank you, Sai. Thank you, Vivek. Thank you, one and all. Okay, so let's stop the chat. Okay. What's a plan for our today's session? So before going on to plan for today's session, what did we discuss in the last session? What did we discuss in the last session? Yes, you are right. We have learned how to deal with volumes. We have learned how to deal with volumes, and there are two types of volumes: simple volumes and shareable volumes, isn't it? Varun, what's the need for a volume, Varun?
Sir, to copy the data, sir.
Save the data.
Save the data, sir.
Even after container is getting deleted, but still you can refer the data by using the concept of volume. So volumes is all about the solution provided by Docker containers to save the data even after container is deleted, isn't it, Sai?
Yes, sir.
This is called as Docker volumes. Now, today's session, what's our agenda for today's session? We'll be learning how to create customized images. Till now, you have never experienced how to create a customized images. Till now, what we are doing, till date, what we are doing, we are using standard images from the Docker Hub. Isn't it? We are downloading the images and then we are running the images so that the container gets created. So all the images as of now, what we have used, all the images, whatever we have used till now, are standard images. Standard images are nothing but the predefined images. But is there any case, is there any need for creating customized images? If yes, how to create a customized images? So our plan is to learn how can we create a customized images, and two ways we can create customized images. As you can see in the screen, there are two ways of creating customized images: by using the Docker commit command. The other one is by using the Docker file. These are the two ways where we can create a customized images, and then we learn how exactly what are the keywords used in the Docker file, and we'll also learn how can we practically see how can we create customized images. This is our plan for today's session. So without any delay, let's get into the concepts. I already have logged into my AWS cloud. I already have started Docker host. Let's connect to the Docker host. You are connected to Docker host. Always switch to hash prompt. Yes, we are now switching to hash prompt. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Creating customized images. Okay, look at a scenario. This is your Docker host. Okay, let's move on. When a container is deleted, all the softwares which we have installed inside the container will also be deleted. You're right. When you remove a container, when you delete a container, obviously all the softwares which you have installed inside the container is also removed. Something like when you format your laptop, what happens? All the softwares, whatever you have installed in your laptop is lost. In the same way, when you remove a container, all the softwares which you have installed inside the container is deleted. If we can save the container as an image, we can preserve the softwares. Let's say, for example, you have created an operating system. Sorry, you have created a container. Let's say you have created a container with great difficulty. You have installed software 1, you have installed software 2, you have installed software 3, you have installed software 4, you have installed 4 softwares, and you have done a lot of configurations. Now the client is happy with this particular environment. With great difficulty, you have installed set of softwares and you have spent a lot of time configuring the softwares, and the client is very happy with the status of this particular container. Now the client says that as of now, we don't need this particular container, but this environment we need it in future. Maybe after 1 month, client wants the same environment. We don't want to repeat the same job again and again, installing manually all the 4 packages and then configuring. We don't want to do it again and again. If you want to preserve this particular status of the container, My dear friends, are you understanding? If you want to preserve the status of the container, we can do that by converting the container into a you are right, image. These images which we are creating are called as obviously called as what? The customized images. Once you create your own image, once you have the image with you, at any point of time, run the image again, you get the same container back. Agree or not? Isn't it? So preserving the status of the container, preserving all the configuration softwares, whichever you have installed in the container, can be possible by creating customized images. I hope I'm very clear. I hope I'm very clear in explaining your need for creating the customized images. And this creation of customized images can be done in 2 ways. In the interview, they ask you in how many ways we can create a customized images. In 2 ways, we can create a customized image by using Docker commit command. Second way of creating customized images by using Dockerfile. I think someone is asking me in a previous class, so did we Docker Compose is different and Dockerfile is different? Yes, Docker Compose is all about multi-container architecture. This is a Dockerfile. Okay, so we can create customized images in 2 ways. We'll experience both by using the Docker commit command and by using the Dockerfile. To start with, I'm now showing you how to create customized images by using Docker commit command. To start with, I am now showing you how can we create customized images using the Docker commit command. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Babatunde, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Thank you. Clear about the need for creating customized images?
Yes, clear.
Thank you. Let's move on. Look at this command. Look at this command. Docker run image name Ubuntu. Using the Ubuntu image, I'm creating a container. The name of the container name can be anything. C11 can be any name. Hyphen name we know is used to name a container. I'm naming a container called C11 and IT stands for interactive terminal. So container gets created. Ubuntu container gets created. My control will enter into the container. Let's have a pictorial understanding. I am creating a container. It's nothing but an Ubuntu container. The name of the container is C11. Interactive terminal, what happens? The container gets created and my control will enter into the container, isn't it? Yes. You are right. Now the container is ready. The name of the container is C11 and I have entered into my container. Inside the container, please observe the commands which I'm executing. Observe the commands I'm executing. I am Sai. Can you understand what we are doing? We are updating the repository inside the container.
Yeah, sir.
We are updating the apt repository present in the container, and then we are installing a software called Git inside the container.
Okay.
Am I right, Warren?
Yes, sir.
So what I'm doing, I'm updating the repository. And then installing a Git software inside the container. As you can see now, Varun, Git is already installed. If you want to check whether the Git is installed or not, Git
Minus version.
hyphen version is used to check the version of the container. Yes, inside my Ubuntu container, I have installed a software called Git. Okay. Exit. to come out of the container back to my Docker host. Yes. So this container is a C11 container, is nothing but an Ubuntu with a Git installed in it. Am I right? This is an Ubuntu with,
Git install.
yes, this is an Ubuntu with a Git package installed in it. Okay. Now I want to convert this particular container, whatever the container which is having some software installed, Git software. I want to convert this container into a
Customized
image. Yes. How can we do that? By using a Docker commit command. Please observe the command, Varun. Docker commit is a command. Which container you want to convert? What's the name of the container? The name of the container is C11 is the name of the container, and the image name which I want to have, it can be any name. I'm writing it as my Ubuntu. It can be my Ubuntu or my Ubuntu 1, whatever it is. It can be image name, can be anything. So I'm writing it as my Ubuntu. I am successfully converted a customized image. What is the size? What is the name of the customized image? What is the name? My Ubuntu. How to see list of images? How to see Docker image ls to see list of all the images? Can you see the my Ubuntu is a customized image? Agree or not? This Ubuntu is actually a predefined image, standard images, isn't it? And this is my customized image. Am I right?
Sir, how can we know the difference between the customized image and the
you know the name, right? You cannot know it.
Sir.
You know the name by looking at the name. You have to look at it as you are naming it. You can refer it by using the name my Ubuntu. Are you able to see this is your customized image? There's no status where we can see the predefined images and customized images. Got it?
Okay.
Okay. Next, how to see images? We have seen it. Now, once the image is ready, what's the name of the image? What's the name of the image? My Ubuntu is the name of the image. So once I have the image with me, so can I create a container out of this image? Can I create one more container out of this image? Let's say this is the older image, and this is anyways, I'm not referring to. My point is, once I have this my Ubuntu image, can I run the image so that I can create one more container? Yes, definitely. Docker run. The interesting thing what I'm using is my Ubuntu. What is my Ubuntu? My Ubuntu is a predefined image. This is the first time I am running a predefined image so that I can get the container. What's the name of the container I'm creating? See, 2020-22. What happens when I run the customized image? When you run the customized image, the container gets created. What's the name of the container? C2020, C22, and then IT stands for interactive terminal. So the container got created. The name of the container is C22, and IT stands for interactive terminal. I have entered into the container. This container is not just a simple Ubuntu container. This is a container with a Ubuntu with Git installed in it. So you have can verify it. I want to check, is it Git installed already? Yes or no, you're getting the Git installed. Are you able to preserve the software, Sai Varun? Are you able to preserve the software? You're able to do that because you're creating customized images. So customized images is all about preserving the softwares inside the container so that you can get the same status back. This is called as creating customized images. And then we have learned how to create a customized images by using the first option that is called as Docker commit command. Any questions? No questions? Okay. Yes, Dondiram.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
So
Clear
can
about the
we
need for
use
creating
for the-
customized image.
Yeah. So it is. Can we use? It is useful in the VDI structures where we can create the multiple VDI images.
You can do that. You can also use VDI images also. You're right. Once you have the image with you, you can use up as per your requirement. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Please drop your hand. Yes, Vakar, your question.
Sir, good evening.
Good evening, Vakar.
So suppose I have a file in a container F1 and I commit that container to build image, right?
Yes.
So after building that image, I create a container with that image. That file will be available.
Available. Yes, you are right. Available.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. In
Yes.
such case, what is the advantage of volume?
volume will be sharing the file.
If you want to access the file, even if the container is not there, you can take the advantage of volume. Whereas
Yes, sir.
if it is a container, you have to recreate the container so that you can get the file back. Got it, Azam?
Yes,
You
sir.
understand the difference between customized container. So
Yes, sir.
whatever the status, it may be softwares, it may be files, everything you'll able to restore it by recreating a new container from the customized image. Azam, clear?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Perfect. Please drop your hand once you're done asking your question. Yes, Vasant Pawar.
Yeah, Sunil, like if I install anything like MySQL or NoSQL database engine on my customized image,
No, not
and
in
if-
a customized image. If you install in your container, from the
Yeah.
container, you are converting it to an image.
image, yeah. So those will be preserved, right? In the database.
Everything as it is, like a
Okay.
snapshot. Okay, got it?
So even like my web, I can create everything on the same that customized.
Yes, you are right. So
like
whatever you want, you
all
can
the
create
three
it.
layers I can create, right? Database,
Everything,
app.
whatever you want, you can create it and preserve it as form of an image for future reference. Okay. Vasant?
Okay. Okay. Thank
So
you.
that's the advantage of customized images, Vasant. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's move on. And coming to the ways using which we can create customized images, as you can see the slide, there are two ways of creating customized. You already know the need for creating customized images. It's all about preserving the settings and preserving the softwares. And there are two ways of creating customized images. One way we already have experience by using the Docker commit command. The second way of creating customized images is Docker file. This is more powerful way. Creating customized images by using Dockerfile is a more powerful way of creating customized images. Now I am showing you how can we create a customized images by using the second way, that is called as using Dockerfile. Look at this. This is something simple. That is something which is important. Dockerfile is not a script, or it's not a markup language or something like this. It's a simple text file. Okay, it's not a script or it's not a program. It's nothing. It's not a markup language like YAML, nothing. It's a simple text file which uses some predefined keywords. A Docker file is a normal text file. That text file contains some predefined keywords. Those predefined keywords are, you can see here, from, maintainer, command, entry point, run, user, working directory, copy, add, environment, expose, volume, label, stop signal. These are some of the keywords which are used in a Docker file. So it is a simple text file which uses some predefined keywords for creating customized images. Now I will show you how can we create a Docker file using the keywords. Step one, we create a Docker file. And then from the Docker file, how can we create customized images? We'll be experiencing soon. So let's have a quick reading. Let us have a quick reading about the keywords which can be used in Docker file. Okay. First keyword, from, is used to specify the base image. Whenever you are creating customized images, my dear friends, whenever you are creating customized images, you have to create a customized images using the base image. You cannot create from the scratch. You have to use one standard. Base image is nothing but a predefined image. On top of that, you do some some installations, do some configurations, and then that particular condition status we will preserve it as form of an image. So from is all about the from keyword is used to specify using which base image you are creating a Docker file. Next, maintainer represents the name of the organization or author who is creating a Docker file. So maintainer is all about author. Maintainer, let's say if I am creating a Docker file, I can write maintainer as my name called Sunil, or I can also mention my organization name. So maintainer is all about the author. It can be a person or it can be an organization. CMD stands for command instruction. CMD stands for command instruction. This is used to specify initial command that should be executed when a container starts. We'll see it practically. Whenever a container starts, you want a particular command to be executed automatically. Are you understanding? Whenever a container starts, whenever you start a container from the customized image, you want some action to be done automatically. You want some command to be executed automatically. That can be possible by using the command keyword. Entry point. This is important. Use it to specify the default process that should be executed when a container starts. I'll show you what do you mean by default process. I'll make this point very clear. run is used to run some Linux commands within the container. It is generally helpful for installing softwares inside the containers. We'll see it. I'm just reading out, try to understand some information about these keywords. We'll see the practically the usage of these keywords. User to specify the default user. User to specify the default user whom should log in into the container. Working directory. Use it to specify the default working directory. Copy. Use it to copy the files from the host machine to the container. Add. Used for copying the files to container and used for downloading the files from the remote servers or from websites. Environment. Use it to specify the environment variables that should be passed to the container. Expose. Use it to specify the internal port number of the container. Volume. Use it to specify the volume that should be attached to the container. Label is used to provide a label to the container. Stop signal is nothing but the key sequences that should be passed in order to stop the container. These are some keywords. These are some keywords. Using these keywords, my dear friends, look at this. We have some keywords. Agree? Keywords are nothing but from, maintainer. Okay. And then we have command instruction, we have run instruction, we have entry point. These are some of the keywords which we just listed. Using these keywords, what do? Using all these keywords, what you do, you create a Docker file out of it. Using all these keywords, you create a Docker file. First, let's do that. Let's create a Docker file from these keywords, and then we'll learn how can we use the Docker file. So step one is using the keywords, we have to create a Docker file. So let's start with the first example. Let's start with the first example. Look at the scenario. Create a Docker file from Nginx base image. From Nginx, every customized image starts with a base image. So from keyword is used to point out from which base image you want to create a customized image. From the Nginx base image, I want to create a customized image. I want to specify maintainer. Maintainer is the name of the organization or name of the other. I maintain it as Logic Labs. And I want to construct an image from the Docker file. So finally, using this Docker file, what we do? We will construct a image. Am I right? That's what we want. Using the Docker file, we'll construct an image. Let's experience it. Now I'm pointing to Docker host. I'm pointing to Docker host. Vasant, can we have a talk?
Yes, Sunil.
I am creating a file. The name of the file is Docker file. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. The file should be Docker file. You cannot create your own name with your name or my name. File name should be Docker file. Okay. That's important. In this Docker file, how many keywords I'm using? Only 2 keywords. From maintainer.
And maintainer.
Frame is nothing but using which base image you are creating customized. Maintainer is nothing but the author who is writing that particular Docker file. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. So first, let's step what we do. What we are doing. We are learning how to create a Docker file from the keywords. That's what. Okay. First, let's learn this part. Okay. Creating a Docker file using the keywords, isn't it, Vasant? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Let's do that. Okay.
Sunil, I have one question.
Yes.
Is there any way we can create the base image itself and store in the registry in the
base image?
Docker?
Base image. We don't need to create it. Base images are available in Docker Hub.
Because some security policy of the company doesn't allow to use any of the operating system from the Docker Hub. So we want to create build a Docker
from
base
the
image
scratch.
Like
from the scratch, you want to build your own image. So that's not possible. Okay. Whenever you are creating customized images, you should be create on top of base images. Okay. Creating.
But how the people are creating and publishing in the Docker Hub?
When they are creating images, maybe they're having their own product. Vasant. Let's say I'm a product development company. I have my own product. Okay. Let's say I have
Okay.
my own ticketing tool. So let's say, for example, that I can create it using, I can create it as it is my own product. I have an option to create the image out of it, and then I host it in Docker Hub. Okay. That's
so-
product development companies. But as a end user or as a client, if you want to
Okay.
have some softwares installed on this customized, on this paradigm image, you have to take the base image from the Docker Hub. Okay. And then you have to
Okay.
customize it. Got it, Vasant?
Yeah, so I got it.
Did you understand? Let's say if you're thinking from a product development company point of view, Vasant, if you have a product, you want that product to be available to customer from as a Docker container point of view. In that case, you have to contact Docker. They help you in creating image out of your product. Okay. Those are official images. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Got it, Vasant? Okay,
Yeah.
fine. So creating a file, the name of the file is Docker file, isn't it, Vasant?
Yeah.
And then this, but now I am opening in the V editor. So I go to insert mode. And then my Docker file is just about 2 keywords from an maintainer. Escape. Is your Docker file ready? Yes. What's the
Yes.
name of the Docker file? Docker file. That's it. Okay. Docker file is ready. What's the next step, Vasant? You have to create an image from the Docker file.
It's like Docker Compose, like we did in the previous session.
Yeah, Docker Compose is all about multi-container architecture,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
here it is all about customizing this image. Okay.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
Docker build. Okay. Docker
Mhm.
build is the command which helps you to create customized images. T for tag. Tagging is nothing but when you're creating customized images, Vasant, we have to provide our own name, isn't it? What is the name of the customized image? My Nginx is the name of the customized image. Dot refers to space, dot refers to the Docker file present in the current working directory. Okay. Got it,
Okay.
isn't it? Wasn't generally dot refers to current working directory and double dot refers to previous directory, isn't it? Dot
Yes.
refers to the current Docker file present in the current working directory. It uses the Docker file present in the current working directory and creates a customized image, and the name of that customized image will be my Nginx, isn't it?
So the name should be always Docker file, right? But that is how it
Name
identifies.
should be that's how it identifies. Okay, otherwise it will not
Okay.
identify. Okay.
Yeah.
You can see successfully tagged the image. The name of the image is my Nginx. Can you see list of images?
It's Docker images. Yes.
Docker images or imageless. Can you see the my Nginx is the
Yeah.
name of the image which is now available. So this is how you can create the process is important. The first example makes you comfortable. What we have done, Vasant, we are using some keywords. Using the keywords, I'm creating a Docker file. From the Docker file, if you want to create a customized image, we have a command called Docker build command. Docker build command helps you to create an image out of the Docker file. Okay, this is about the first example. So we have understood the process, Vasant. Any questions in understanding how can we use the keywords and create a Docker file? And from the Docker file, how can we create a customized image? It's a two-step action. Okay. 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 Let's look at one more example. Look at a scenario. Before that, let's have a quick question. Maheshwara.
Actually, I have a question. So here we are creating our customized image, am I right? So
You are right.
for my application, data warehousing application, if I want to install a server and install a DB there, and then can we do it actually? But because it's need a base image, am I right?
right.
Something like. So can we do?
So you can do that, but you have to take a base image purely as an operating system. Practically, if you want to host some MySQL server, whatever it is, Maheshwara, we generally practically we install it on top of operating system. That's what we do it practically, is it?
For example, if you have Linux, actually, Linux or AX, if I need the server. So basically, I can.
You have
take
to
that and
download the AX image from the Docker Hub. Okay.
Right.
Open interactive terminal out of it, and what are the commands you generally use it, and the real operating system, you have to run the same commands inside the container to get the status.
Yeah.
Okay.
So within that image, actually, I can install multiple softwares. Am I right?
Yes,
if I want to install Oracle.
What I have shown you in today's example is just installing one software called Git. Need not be one software. You can install a number of softwares. Okay, that's not a problem.
Okay,
Number of
but
softwares is
after
not at
having,
all a problem.
after having
After
that application, yeah, Sunil. So, for example, typical scenario, if I want to install an informatic application and then install a DB, so server and DB gets created actually. Manually, if you want to link the client to the DB to the server, so that kind of options are there actually. Client server
Yes.
architecture.
Yes, that you need to handle it from the front-end application point of view. Okay, Maheshwara. If you are accessing that particular container from a particular application, okay, so you need to
Yeah.
handle that from the application point of view. Okay, your application can be a PHP application or a Python application or JavaScript. You have to install the right plugins so that the container will be called and that container will be available at the application. Okay,
So in the same image, we have to install the application, is it?
you are right. Okay.
Right.
Let's look at one more example. Look at the scenario. Last example is nothing special. We have just understood the process of creating customized image. There is no special advantage of my Nginx. It is behaving same like a standard image called Nginx, but we have understood the process of creating customized images. Let's look at one more example. Whenever I start my container, I want a program to get executed automatically. Vasant, if you look at the scenario is a little bit typical when compared to previous examples. When we create a customized image, Vasant, once we're done with the customized image, whenever on demand, we'll run the image so that the container gets created, isn't it? If you run the image 10 times, how many containers will be created? Obviously 10 containers created. It's up to us. Once the image is ready with me, whenever I want, I run the image. But the infrastructure demand is whenever the container is created, I want a program to get executed automatically. That means whenever an environment gets created, whenever a container gets created, you want some action to be done automatically. How can this be achieved? This can be
So
achieved by
like
using-
startup scripts in the EC2.
Exactly, like a bootstrap scripts or something like that. Okay.
Okay.
Vasant, how can
Yeah.
this be possible? This kind of scenarios can be made possible by using a special instruction called command instruction. Go back to the theory of command instruction. Command, CMD stands for command instruction. Command is used to specify the initial command that should be executed when a container starts. Whenever a container starts, you want a particular command to be executed. That is possible by using the command instructions. Let's look at this example. I'm creating one more Docker file. Obviously, you know the file name should be the same. That is Docker file. This time I'm using, last time I have used how many keywords? If you can see, I have used only 2 keywords in our previous example, from and maintainer. This time I am using 3 keywords. I'm using an additional keyword called command instruction. I'm using a command called date. This means whenever you create a container, Vasant, what happens? The date command gets executed automatically, isn't it? So let's do that.
So I can change the path and create the Docker file, right? Like I don't want to delete the existing data.
If you don't want to delete the existing file, you can change the path and create a new Docker file, or
Okay.
you can copy this existing Docker file in a different directory as a reference and an archive. Okay. Okay. So, but I am opening existing Docker file. Okay. Existing Docker file is already having 2 images. I will be deleting this existing Docker file. And then I go to insert mode. And then how many keywords I'm using here? 3 keywords. The new thing, Vasant, is the command instruction. What we have to experience in this example. The Docker file is ready. You can see the name of the Docker file is Docker file. How to build a customized image out of this Docker file is Docker build command. T for tagging. The name of the image is MyCenters. MyCenters. The actual predefined image centers. Customized images MyCenters. Dot refers to the Docker file present in the current working directory. Yes, the image is ready. What's the name of the image? Vasant, MyCenters, isn't it?
MyCenters.
Can you see the MyCenters is ready? Perfect. Once the image is ready, can I run this image so that the container gets created? Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Docker run. What is the name of the image? MyCenters. That's nothing but the customized image. IT stands for interactive terminal. So what happens? The container gets created and my control will enter into the container. But whenever the container starts, can you see date is getting executed? Vasant, did I manually run the command? No,
No.
I have not manually run the command. So whoever is demanding the infrastructure, he has a typical requirement that he wants some command to be executed automatically when the environment starts. We have achieved that by using a command instruction in the Docker file. Okay. So
Okay.
command instruction is all about running a particular command. Whenever from now, let's say if you create one more container, Vasant, again one more, again the command instruction gets executed. So command instruction is generally very handy when you want some set of commands to be executed. So if you want a command to be executed automatically when the container starts. Clear?
Right. So if I want to run multiple commands in the
Yes,
same,
yes,
like,
that's the drawback of this command instruction. Look at this. Coming back to your question, one Docker file can have only one command instruction. Vasant, your question is if you want to run two commands, okay? Let's say I'm providing two command instructions. Let's say, for example, last time it was only date. I'm adding one more command instruction, something like ls-la, okay? So let's open this Docker file. Insert mode, I am using one more command instruction. Using one more command instruction. So escape :WQ to save and quit. Vasant, I have modified the Docker file by adding one more instruction. As I have modified the Docker file, I am reconstructing the image. When you reconstructing the image, as the image name is same, the old image will be replaced with the new one.
So we have the version for the image also, no, right?
No, if you don't want the old image to be replaced, you have to provide a new name for the new image, isn't it?
Okay.
Yes, so that means it has been replaced. Now I am running my own customized image. As per the Docker file, we have mentioned two command instructions, date and ls-la. So we should get both. Actually, what our expectations is both should get executed. But the drawback of the command is we are getting only ls-la. Are you anywhere able to see the date? No, you're not able to see the date. So what does that mean? That means even though you provide multiple command instructions, it executes the latest one. That's a drawback of command instruction. Got it? Awesome. Yes, Maheshwara.
Sunil, because and actually it has to pick the date, am I right? Why it is going for the second command actually? What is the process?
Whatever is the last one that gets executed.
That is the preference, is it?
That's the preference. Yes. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Now, look at a requirement. Look at a requirement. In a Ubuntu container, I want to install Git in it. Ubuntu is a predefined container, predefined image using the predefined image. Okay, but the requirement is we want Ubuntu with Git installed in. We have done this. We have done this by using the first way of creating customized images by using the Docker commit command. What we have done, we have created a container. First, we have created a container using the Vasant. First, what we have done, we have created a container using the standard image. You have entered into the container and you have done all the hard work of installing. Okay. Instead of this process, you can achieve the same requirement using the Docker file. This becomes much more handy. Look at the example. I want to remove the Docker file because I was anyways starting from the scratch. Creating a Docker file from is nothing but the base image. You know that maintainer is nothing but the organization or other. Now, the new thing here I am using is run instructions. The new thing what I'm using is a run instructions. I am updating the repository and I am installing Git in it. It's very obvious. Okay. But you have to understand the difference between, the previous example command instruction and the run instruction. I will execute it. Vasant, can you guess how exactly the run instruction is different from the command instruction? So let's execute it.
So it should run both the commands, I believe. Both the run commands. Both the run.
Run, there is no restriction. You can have a number
Yeah.
of command. The restriction is only for the command
So
instruction.
can we call a shell script file as well?
You can do that as a default process. I'll see it soon. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm opening a Docker, creating a Docker file. Go to insert mode. Escape :WQ. Docker file is ready. Next, what we need to do, we need to build an image. The name of the image is my Ubuntu. Using dot refers to the Docker file present in the current working directory. Vasant, right now you can see the Docker keywords using the Docker keywords. What we have built is a Docker file. We have built it. Okay. Now from the Docker file, what we are doing, we are building a image. Images, and from the image, what we get is a container. That's the process, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. Now look at this. Now I have the Docker file ready. Now I am building an image from the Docker file.
So in the Docker file, when you mention the from it, if the image is not present on the local,
It automatically performs
downloads
full
and-
operation.
So build is like Docker run directly running Docker command.
It's something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
If the base image is not available, Vasant, what happens? Automatically full operation happens, and then it downloads the base image from the Docker hub to the Docker host. Okay.
Okay.
What's happening? apt-get apt repository is getting updated, and then what will happen? Git is installed.
Installed. Yeah.
apt repository is getting updated, and then Git is installed. Yes. Now the Git is installed, and then now you have the image ready with you. What is the name of the image? My Ubuntu.
My Ubuntu.
Now, if you see this list of images, Docker image ls, you can see my Ubuntu is just now updated 14 seconds back. The point is, what you need to keep in mind. Look at this. Command instruction will run when the container starts. Am I right, Vasant?
Yes.
From the image, when you are running the container, at that point of time, the command instruction gets executed. Whereas when the run instruction gets executed, when you are building a image from the Docker file, at that point of time, the run instruction is executed. Are you understanding? When the command, the difference between command, the timing is different. The timing is different. Command instruction gets executed when you're creating container, but run instructions gets executed when you're building a image. So we already have built the image. Okay, so we already have built the image. Now, as I have the build, I have image ready. Now I am running the container out of my customized image. Container is created. Now, is it Git installed? Isn't it? Git ---- version. Is Git installed? Yes. Git is installed. So like this, we can use run instruction itself when the Docker file. Okay, Docker file, my dear friends. Let's say if you want an operating system on top of it, you want to install software 1, 2, 3, 4. If you are sure about that, you have mentioned the run instructions in single shot. When you run the Docker file and the image gets created, at the time of image gets created, the run command gets executed, and you have the image with software installed in it. Once from that image, if you create a container, you will have the software ready. This is more better handy way, isn't it, Vasant Kumar, when compared to Docker commit command? The first approach, the Docker commit command, you are manually creating a container, you are entering into the container, you are spending time running the commands inside the container. Instead, this becomes more handy when you are comfortable with Docker file, isn't it? So that's the reason Docker file is more powerful way or more flexible way of creating customized images when compared to Docker commit command. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, good. It is.
Okay. Okay. I want to go ahead with few more examples. I want to go with few more examples.
Sunil,
Yes.
so like we can create the customer Docker images using the Docker file. Then we can using Docker Compose we can build our 3-layer architecture, right?
Yes, you can do that. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
20-second. Okay. Yes. This we already have seen it. The difference between command instructions and instruction. I want to discuss about one of the important feature called cache busting feature. Important. Many participants who are working in Docker, they are not aware of this bursting feature. Anyways, we will be understanding with an example. What is this cache busting feature? I'll make it simplified. Let's have a theory first. Whenever an image is built from the Docker file, you're talking about this part. Using the keywords from maintainer, okay, run. So using some keywords, what you're using, you're creating a Docker file. Using these keywords, what you do is you create a Docker file. Whenever an image is built from the Docker file, so using this Docker file, you build an image. Very good. Fine. You build an image. Whenever an image is built from the Docker file, Docker reads its memory. This is important. Docker reads its memory, checks the instructions which are already executed. Those steps will not be re-executed. Old instructions will not be re-executed. It only executes the latest instruction. This is a time-saving mechanism of Docker. I will make the concept very, very clear for you. There is a time-saving mechanism of Docker. The time-saving mechanism of Docker is when you update a Docker file, it will not execute the older instructions. It will execute only the newer instructions. This is a time-saving mechanism of Docker file. In fact, this is an advantage. This is also having a disadvantage, both advantage and disadvantage of cache busting. The advantage is that you can save time. The disadvantage is that you end up installing software packages from a repository which is updated long time back. That means you end up installing older versions of the packages. Obviously, this may not be very clear by looking at the theory, but as I said, I will make the concept very clear by looking at an example. Okay. Vasant, can we have a talk?
Sure, Sunil.
Look at this. We have a Docker file, isn't it?
Yes.
I want to look at this Docker file. How many lines it is? 4 lines.
4 lines.
4 from maintainer and 2 run instructions. This is the current version of the Docker file, is it?
Yes.
The current Docker file is having from maintainer, 1 run instruction, 2nd run instruction. This is the current version. Agree? I already have executed this Docker file and I have created an image out of it, isn't it?
Yes,
Vasant?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Ubuntu.
now what I am doing, I am making changes in this Docker file. I add one more instruction. Already we are having Git installed. I want to install one more software called tree package. Okay. So what I'm doing, I'm modifying my Docker file. Look at this. I am now, as mentioned, I am opening the file. I'm opening the Docker file. And then I am adding one more instruction. I'm adding one more instruction, that is tree command. Tree I'm installing, escape:\WQ, updated the Docker file. The current version of Docker file, this is current version. Now the updated version of the Docker file is with one more run. This is something new which I have added. This is referring to what package? Tree package. As I have updated my Docker file, I am building an image out of the Docker file. When you build the image, Vasant, as I have updated my Docker file, I am, when I'm building the image, these are all the older instructions, right?
Yes.
This will not be re-executed. Only the new one gets executed. That means only the tree package will be installed, updated. So this will not be executed. Look at this.
So even the APT update also
will not execute. Will not execute because APT
Then
repositories. That means tree will be installed without updating the APT repository. That's a drawback. Okay.
Okay.
That means you may have a chance of installing the older versions, not the latest versions of the packages. Am I right? Look at this. Look at the result of this building an image. Okay. Let's look at this. Completed. Go back. Vasant, observe from Ubuntu maintainer, it is using cache memory. Run update, updating the repository is not happening. It is using the cache memory. It identified that it is already. It is also using cache memory. Which one? Git is also using cache memory. Only tree started installing from the scratch. And tree has been installed without updating the APT repository. Now that means you have to understand that whenever you update a Docker file, older instructions will not be executed. Only the new instructions gets executed. This is a time-saving mechanism of Docker. Obviously, let's say you have a Docker image with some 9 softwares. Vasant, now you want a 10 software. What you'll do, you add one more run command instruction, isn't it? You don't want all the 9 softwares to be reinstalled again because it's a time save waste maker. You want to just add the new package, isn't it? That's what is happening. This is it uses a cache memory. So cache memory is something like a RAM, isn't it, Vasant?
Yeah.
So it uses from the memory. So obviously it is a time saving mechanism, but there's an advantage, and the advantage is the time is saved. The disadvantage is now you have installed a tree without updating the repositories. You may end up getting the older versions of the.
If we change the run sequence, the run command sequence, like trees run first before.
Even though you change the sequence, it understands. It's not about the order. It understands what packages are getting already available. It compares it, and then because these latest one are already referred to the cache memory, and then it executes the latest one. Okay, and you can see we have observed in the output. Step 2, 3, or 4 are using cache memory. Only the latest one was executed freshly, isn't it? So what you came to know, this is a time-saving mechanism, no doubt. But the disadvantage we have understood. Let's say you are running the Docker file after 4 months. You end up a tree package which is updated long time back, isn't it? You may end up older versions of the packages, is it?
Yeah, we may not get.
If you want to, you may not get the latest versions. If you want to overcome the disadvantages, then you need to bust the cache memory. Busting is nothing but remove the cache memory. You can remove the cache memory by using a special symbol called double ampersand. Whichever the statement in the Docker file which is having this special symbol called double ampersand, it will not check from the cache memory. It will be executed manually from the scratch. Okay.
Okay.
You can see update and install git and tree. So I'm using double ampersand. When you use double ampersand, it will not check whether the it will not verify the memory at all. It again starts from the scratch. So it updates the apt repository and then it will install git and tree. Okay.
But ampersand is also used to concatenate commands, right?
No, here in Docker file, but the behavior of the context is different. The behavior is different. Okay, because it's a Docker
Okay.
file. So, so what I'm doing here, I'm updating the Docker file. Sorry, let me start from the scratch. I go to insert mode. Save and quit. Building an image. Now you can see, Vasant, it is not using cache. It is updating the repository. Wherever the line is there with double ampersand, it executes freshly. And then you can end up installing the latest versions of the package. This is how you can bust the cache memory and you can overcome the disadvantage. Okay, of when the Docker file gets updated. Got it, Vasant?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So what is the use case of Sunil? Because for all the packages, we always used to get the latest version. So
No,
what is the use case of caching the?
Let's say if you are
Is the time
no
only a
no no no
time?
if let's say you have, let's say today you have created one Docker file. In the Docker file you have installed 9 softwares, Vasant,
Yeah.
today morning, and after in the afternoon you have added one more software. Okay, in the same day repository does not make any modifications, packages will not get modified, isn't it? It takes a lot of time to install softwares. At that point of time you want to take the advantage of time saving mechanism. Okay, Vasant, when you are updating very frequently, you want to take the advantage of time saving mechanism. When you are doing it after 4 or 5 months, you don't want the time saving mechanism because you want the fresh software. It's up to you whether you want to use it or not. If you want to bust the cache memory, you have to use double ampersand symbol. Okay, Vasant? So this is how exactly you can use the time saving mechanism. You can bust the cache memory, and in interview definitely they ask you so about dealing with Docker file. So how if you update the Docker file, they'll ask you instructions, will it be executed manually or only the latest one gets executed? You should be in a position to answer this, Vasant. This is about the cache busting feature in Docker file. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Sai Varun.
Sir, my question is not on the Docker, sir, but on Jenkins, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in the GitHub repository, if you have multiple branches, can perform CI/CD pipeline for a particular
We have seen it,
branch.
right?
Can you perform CI/CD pipeline for a particular branch, sir?
In a multi-branch pipeline, you can only process one specific branch. Okay. Whenever you link a particular source code SCM, Sai Varun, you will get all the branches. But when that particular individual branch gets updated, only when you make some changes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you obviously multi-branch pipeline handles individual branches, so it will not handle all the branches. Okay. Whichever the branch gets updated, only that performs the CI/CD process. Okay. Okay. So this is about a cache busting feature. I want to discuss one more example of Docker file that is about changing the background process by using the entry point. So that we'll discuss tomorrow, and then we move on to the concept of container orchestration. Okay, that's called as Docker Swarm. So that's our upcoming topics for the tomorrow session. Please spend some hands on whatever we have learned, and see you tomorrow.
Sunil, I have one question, Sunil.
Yes, Vasant.
So what are the other tools are covered in this DevOps course? Like
right now we are learning Docker. Okay.
Yeah.
After Docker, Ansible.
Okay.
After Ansible, we will discuss Nagios and then Kubernetes. Okay.
Okay, 3 more tools. Okay.
Yes. Nagios is a pretty small tool, 1 day or 2 days. Okay. Important are Ansible and this Docker Swarm and Kubernetes. Okay. Okay, then.
So what
Thank you.
about you code, right? Like in command we cannot run multiple, in the command instruction we cannot run multiple.
That's the drawback.
command.
There is no
So-
overcome it. That's the drawback.
So
That's it.
we can able to call a shell file, shell script. That is
Entry.
covered tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll see it soon using the entry point tomorrow.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay, thank you. Bye, everybody.